Merkel Media.
He put it in park, threw open the driver's door, ran out the side of the car, across the front of it, and jumped right off the side of the bridge in front of me.
The only people that really pulled over were truckers.
He said, we're going Hodge, and he didn't slow down. He went across the median onto the oncoming traffic, but where they could see him coming, they just got out of the way.
I noticed this plane was really low. It went right in front of us, hit the fence, and it spun around. 30 seconds more, he could have hit us.
But I went around that truck, and a guy stepped out from behind the truck and threw a piece of wood, and it shot through my window just like a spear and stuck in the back of the cab of my truck.
That's probably one of the stranger things I've seen.
Both of the cabins to 60 degrees. Let it run for 12 hours. Came out. The Rivian lost 12%, and I think the Ford lost 10% of the battery.
Wow.
That's it.
How is I've actually saw a Rivian driving to work, which I've never. I'm like looking at this.
That actually looks like a pickup truck, not like the fucking tin.
The Tesla
the Tesla front garbage can.
But it's kind of cool. I mean, I think that's kind of cool looking too. But the Rivian was really neat. I mean, it looks like the front light threw me.
Yeah, the oval, like the really odd looking.
The really odd looking.
Yeah.
And I was like, what in the world is that?
Yeah,
I saw it was the same thing when I saw one of the Cyber trucks.
So they have the light bar.
And I'm like, what in the world? I saw it in my mirror coming up, and I'm like, what the heck is that?
Everybody thinks that light bar is the actual headlights. They're not. The headlights are underneath.
Oh, no kidding.
They're right between the bumper and the trunk. The headlights are only like this big. Those are the headlights. That light bar is your daytime running light.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I thought it's like, man, that doesn't look very bright at night.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And then I saw one at night,
and
the headlights are underneath the hood, between the hood and the bumper. You can't even really see them when you drive.
Oh, that's crazy.
But they're ugly trucks. I don't care.
Yeah, they're kind of.
The tech in it is awesome.
Right.
I mean, apparently, it has drive-by-wire. There's no steering column in that truck.
Wow.
Everything's drive-by, like your throttle by wire, your brake by wire in a lot of cars. Now this is steer-by-wire.
Wow.
So
it's kind of like Formula One, isn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't Formula One do that?
Yeah, they've
been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, well, they've been saying they were getting rid of all the holes in the firewall, basically.
That's
right.
Yeah. So now this has no. I mean, I think Toyota or Lexus. I think it was Lexus actually. Toyota. They did a steer-by-wire thing too, but they had the redundancy of a steering column in there. So they still had a steering box that was disconnected most of the time until something fails. You have that redundancy, but now, I mean. It never was used, and like you said, they've been doing it in Formula One, which they're doing 200 miles an hour,
right?
And they're not failing.
And it's responsive, yeah. I mean, it's got to be able to respond all the time, and it's not like they're taking it easy on it or anything.
No, so that I mean,
but they're not hitting potholes.
Oh, that's true. They're not driving on Pennsylvania roads, right?
Or going off road too. The Tesla Cybertruck is supposed to be like the toughest truck in the world.
That's crazy,
and it's going off road, and it seemed to like that steering isn't the problem. There's problems with the truck. It ain't the steering or even the rear steering. It has rear steering because it's like a big truck to get around. Not like GM's been doing that for like years. They had that on the trucks, but they never were successful with it. Tesla, Mercedes, mostly the EVs are doing the rear steering.
Didn't
big
Honda
cars.
do that? Years ago,
Honda,
like for parking in parking spots. I remember seeing commercials about that.
On the Prelude, they used to have like 2 degrees for handling and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was never very good, and your alignment was terrible. You got, you hit one pothole, your alignment's all cars driving down the road sideways.
Never thought about that.
Now I guess it's with the computers and everything, it controls it. The alignment, like on the Cybertruck, the alignment is actually more computer controlled than. I mean, you have to get it lined up, but if one of the wheels is like out of alignment, using that rear steering, the motor can actually straighten it out, and it'll put a warning up that you need service and stuff, but it won't sandpaper your tire down to nothing.
Wow.
It's amazing what they can do with some of this. Now, how long will that last?
Right.
And how much abuse can it take? It ain't gonna last like shipper's truck. That thing will go. It may rust, but that thing will go through anything.
Right.
Are these EVs going to be that resilient? I don't know.
We'll tell. But like anything, the longer it's around, the more it's worked on, the more it's tweaked.
I think the truck itself, everything's going to work really well. Like the battery's going to last, the motors are going to last. It's just that they're so freaking heavy.
They are really heavy. They are.
Is it just the Tesla truck, or Yeah, I think it is the Tesla truck. You have to put it in car wash mode.
No, mine has a car wash mode too, and all that
What
is.
the hell is that?
All that is like the batteries have vents on them, so to vent air, it closes the vents,
so the water don't go in.
Yeah, so it doesn't get in the battery. It closes. It'll close all your windows if they're open. Your hatchback. On mine, I have the lift back on it.
Yeah.
You can actually hear the motor. It cranks it down a little bit more to make sure there's no water ingress for pressure washers and everything. But that's pretty much it.
That's pretty
cool.
But
with the Cybertruck, there's even more because that actually has a battery system. Because they say, I'm going to put it in quote, they say it can float.
Really?
I'm not going to test it.
Nope.
But
I'm not spending that kind of money and driving it into liquid.
If you put it in wade mode, I think it's called, like to go through a river or something, like some of these, what it actually does is it puts positive pressure in the battery. Even if there's no leaks, no water can get in it, but it puts positive pressure in the battery. So if there is a crack or anything like that, it's pushing air out and won't let water get in, is the theory behind it. So with car wash mode, it'll slam everything, it'll just turn everything off and just make sure nothing can get in. That's all car wash mode is.
That's kind of cool.
But if you don't use it,
I don't know.
and Tesla finds out you went through like a pressure washer or used they can use that to say, we're not covering whatever happened. So,
I mean, have you ever seen those videos where somebody's going through the drive-through car wash and like the water's leaking in all over the place? I don't know what does that.
I saw.
I don't know if those are even real.
I saw one the other day. The guy's going through the car wash mode, and his dog jumps up on the window and opens the window. The dog pushes the window down, and here's this little wiener dog just covered in soap. The whole interior is covered in soap. And
it's laundry day.
And he said, "This is what happens when you take the dog to the car wash. The dog's just like looking around, like, what happened? And then he does the shake, and it's going everywhere." I don't go to those. I go to those like what they call them, laser washes and stuff like that. The touchless. They don't no spinny brushes to death. Those are awful.
I don't go to car wash.
No.
I mean, I really I haven't driven through a car wash in a long time. That's why I wasn't sure what you meant when you said a laser.
In the wintertime, I do it just to get the salt.
Oh yeah, I got you.
But I usually hand wash at home too.
Yeah,
but those car washes with the spinner.
The huge
street sweeping brushes.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it's doing to your paint.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I had a guy bring me a car. I don't know if you're talking about this on there, but
why not?
I detail cars, and he brought me a car. And he said, "My wife took this thing through he had it as a show Jeep.
Wow.
It was a Jeep Wrangler. He must have paid $12,000 for this paint job. Beautiful. She took it through a car wash. She was trying to help him out, and it was one of these things with all the way down the side. There must have been a rock stuck in those things. You could just see it scrape.
Wow.
I got all of them out except for one on the mirror. I couldn't because most Wranglers don't have painted mirrors. He had painted mirrors, and this thing it took it down to the paint. Went through the clear coat, took it down to the paint. I couldn't do anything with it, but I got most of them out.
Well, how do you get something like that out? Like it just in general,
like a rubbing compound.
Oh wow!
Orbital polish. I mean, on his Jeep to detail that was 18 hours I spent.
Wow! Did you charge by the hour?
No, I should have. I charged him.
It's just a flat rate.
I charged him $400 because I knew it was going to be a problem, but I didn't know it was going to be that fucking bad.
Yeah, holy cow!
And then he wanted ceramic coating on it, and that's not terrible, but you have to paint correct the whole car. You have to go over the whole car with that compound, polish it, and then the ceramic coating. Some people bitch and moan about how much it costs. It's like, it's time. It's easy to put on. Then you do it yourself if it's easy. It's the time. I mean, you have the paint correction is the problem because you're going over with that. First, you got to wash the car. Then you clay bar the car. You're taking a bar of clay, automotive clay, and you're just getting out. That gets all the contaminants out of all the little nooks and crannies.
Oh, wow.
Because if you look at your paint,
all the dirt.
Yeah, if you look at your paint, it's porous. It's like, it almost looks like skin. When you look at paint on a car, it's almost like skin.
Yeah.
All that gets stuck down in there.
Wow.
So if you start polishing it or trying to clean it, you're just taking that dirt and rubbing it all over.
So now you know what your wife does every day when she cleans her face, when she does the loofah sponge.
that clay bar pulls all that out.
Wow.
And then that's once you got to go over the whole car. Then you go over it with the compound.
Yeah.
And depending on how bad it is, I had to use a really aggressive compound with his. So that's an extra step. I got to put a polish on over the top of that.
Right.
And then the ceramic coating. The ceramic coating is the easiest part of that, but the little bottle of ceramic coat is $200. And I could do probably, I I can do one vehicle with it, and I sometimes have enough left over to do a little bit more.
What does that do? Like, is it a sealer?
It's an SiO2, which is ceramic. They call it ceramic coating. I don't know if it's really ceramic, but basically it puts a thin layer of glass, because when it dries, it's really hard, and it'll prevent like you rub up against your car it'll prevent some scratch, like swirl marks and stuff. It won't protect against stones or rock chips or anything like that. But it does. I did my whole car after I got the PPF on it. I brought it home, and I had to paint correct every inch of that Tesla because the paint was awful.
What's PPF?
Paint protection film.
Oh, okay.
It's like see-through. It's clear.
Almost like a clear coat type of thing.
Yeah, you can't even see it, but it's put on. It's plastic.
It's like a film.
It's self-healing. A rock will hit it, and with heat, it kind of just fills in.
That's kind of fascinating.
And it does save I've done it with every car I've had.
It's crazy.
I mean, my wife's car, I'm probably gonna have to replace the hood because something flew up while we were driving, and it made such a horrific bang. I was like, "Oh, this hood's fucked."
Wow!
And because it cracked her windshield too. I had to get the windshield repaired. Whatever it was, I never saw it. I just saw this blur. It never went through the film. The paint underneath that is perfectly fine. I kind of like, because it was so much was ripped apart. I feel perfect. But I still have to get the whole hood.
Wow.
The guy, he's say he'll do it for $400.
Yeah, my brother has that. He has that on his cars down in Florida because all the highway driving is with the sand and stuff.
And the bugs too.
Yeah.
I mean, it helps with down there. They have those love bugs or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, if you didn't have the protection, it'd be like the front of our trucks look. It's down to the white, chipped away.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like, it's not cheap. I mean, if you get
how did I never hear about that? That's fascinating. I literally never heard about it.
He's done, the guy who did my car, he's done a couple owner operator trucks.
Wow.
They get their fairing, the fairing, air dam, whatever. They get that done. They get the whole hood done because that's what's just plowing through the air, getting all the rocks and everything. These are owner operators. They want to take care of their trucks and everything. And I can't imagine what that cost. My car was $2,500. That's the hood, front bumper, cover, both fenders, the mirrors, the headlights, and the full rocker panels.
How does that get applied?
It's
like, is it sprayed on or is it rubbed on?
It's like a giant sheet.
It's like you wrap the trailer,
okay.
But it's clear.
Yeah, it's a giant.
That's amazing.
It's like wet on both sides. They make it wet. I watched them do it. It's fascinating.
Yeah, it sounds
I was
really
like,
interesting.
So there's glue on there? He goes, no, there's no glue. But whatever this material is, they wet the hell out of it, put it on there, and it's cut. Like he has this giant he calls it a printer. Yeah. It's not really a printer. He puts the film in the back there, and he puts in, all right, it's a 2024 Tesla Model Y, and it cuts out the perfect shape for whatever he's doing. Fenders,
no kidding.
Puts it on there, sprays the hell out of it with this soapy solution, and then he uses lines it up perfectly, starts in the middle, squeegees
out all the.
And that's not. And then if you got to take it off, he pulls off, sprays a little bit more, and it's fascinating. But it takes hours. He spent just to do my car. It took him almost 8 hours.
Wow.
And some people want the entire car done. Like they wrap they do matte. Like some of these cars drive around, they have matte paint.
Yep.
It's not matte paint. A lot of them. It's cheaper and better. You get the matte PPF film over the whole car.
Get the heck out.
And the matte is underneath it. Like Hyundai has this matte paint that they have now.
Yeah.
You have to, when you buy a new car, you have to sign away. You won't use any soap on it. How the fuck do you clean a car without soap?
Right.
You can't take it to a car wash because if you rub too much in one spot, you rub the matte away and it becomes shiny. It looks like I would never buy that stuff.
Right.
But for I don't know, for a car your size, like $5,000, maybe $6,000. If you want the matte, you're going to spend $3,000 as an upcharge for that matte paint from Hyundai, Kia.
And then and with all the prohibitions
how do you clean it? You have to buy their special spray.
Wow.
And it's like, no way. He did
that's
one.
Fascinating.
He did one, my same color car, a week after mine, and he sent me the pictures. I was like, I should have waited.
Right.
I should have got my, because it looked really sporty, with the matte finish. And the matte is underneath the film.
Underneath that
so
film.
you can scrub and you're not going to rub that matte
You
finish
can actually
away.
clean the car. Yeah. You can actually wash it.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Well, welcome to Hammer Lane Legends. As you know, this is a kind of a break room show, as you can tell. And it's just we're sitting here with Mike from work, and we're just kind of catching up with Mike and having a nice chit chat. And Mike's kind of guest hosting with us, and we're just enjoying some afternoon.
Don't say afternoon delight.
No, I would never. We're not going there. Shipper might, but I'm not going there.
I knew you were going there.
He's got those eyeballs that can see through stuff now. So
Oh yeah, how's that going with the new eyeballs?
Good.
You have to wear, like, other than reading glasses, you have to wear nice.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
I had LASIK 20 years ago, and I had the best money I ever spent.
Yeah,
I used
to still working for you. I mean,
yeah, I just had my eye exam 2020 in both eyes. Yeah, I had to wear
Nice.
reading glasses. I can't see nothing. So, like,
But
through the
that's
show,
all right,
if I have to look at my phone and you see me reach up like this, because 90% of the time I walk around my house with reading glasses on my head.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was the best money I ever spent.
That is crazy. That is neat. I've thought about doing it. I don't know if they do that with an astigmatism.
A lot of,
that you know of?
Back when I had it done, you were very limited, but I think now a lot, they can do a lot with the laser. And there's so many different, the radio keratotomy.
Right.
They can do a lot now. Mine was just simple LASIK.
Just regular LASIK.
And I tell you what, if I would have seen, gave me this is how long ago it was. They gave me a VHS tape of my surgery.
VHS.
And I told the doctor, I said, I am so glad you didn't give me somebody else's tape and show me this beforehand.
Right.
I'd still be wearing glasses.
Really?
It was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life.
I was awake the whole time.
So was
I saw the whole thing.
Well, so was I, but I couldn't see exactly what they were doing. They stick that, like, they put this retractor in your eyeball and open it up. And then they said, you might feel a little bit of pressure. And then I hear like a vacuum turn on. And it pops. I was like, a little bit of pressure. It felt like they were sucking the eyeball out of my head. and then I see like the knife go around because they have to cut. At least they did with me. I don't know what they have to cut like a lens. They don't take it all the way off, but they cut on, and then they flap it open. And as soon as they push that flap, I was like, oh, it's like you were underwater, salt water. Your eyes started burning from the air. It's like you couldn't see. Everything was blurry. And then he's like, don't worry about the laser, because you're taught not to stare into something really bright. Right. But he's like, don't worry about it. And it's like a whole bunch of little goes, and they were like shaving down with the laser. And then they just flopped it back open. And they didn't sew it or anything. They just put this, it wasn't really cream, but it was like a really thick, viscousy liquid in my eyes. Then they said, okay. Then they go over to the other one. It was like 15, 20 minutes tops to do both eyes.
Wow.
And even like right away, everything was really blurry, but I could see from across the room. I was never able to see before.
No kidding.
And they said, well, within a day or two, it'll start clearing up. Don't rub your eyes. Don't.
Does that suction thing keep your eyeball from moving around?
Yeah, that's what it is. It sucks.
Because I'm sitting there, you said that the suction part, and then you're talking about how they open up your eyeball, and I'm thinking to myself, what? I mean, your eyeball is like your tongue. Try and hold your tongue still, and it's moving all, but and your eyeballs are kind of like that. You just have a habit of looking away. If you see something coming at your eye, you're going to look away, and so that makes
you're
sense.
Also numb. I'm sure they numb. Yeah. You can't really feel your eye anymore, so you could be doing movements and not even know it.
Yeah,
so that's,
like I said, they numbed my eye, and she actually took the pen, and actually I could feel it right on the eyeball, marking where they're going to cut.
Wow, that is so weird. I mean, it's amazing. Can you imagine what people if you could bring somebody from 1900, just like to today, just the stuff that they can do, the crazy stuff that we do.
I often thought about that with cars. Like you take Henry Ford from the early 1900s and bring him in here and take him for a ride in a Mustang. Right. I mean, the guy would probably have a heart attack. He wouldn't believe the horsepower and what you can do with a modern car that has his name on it. He's like, well,
and we're never satisfied.
Well, basically, you look at the Deuce, the second, with Shelby. He basically knew what a Mustang was with Iacocca, and then Shelby comes out with the Cobra.
That is crazy.
Did you see that movie Ford, where they took Henry Ford a third or whatever it was for the ride, and he started crying after?
Wow. I didn't see it. No.
Okay, Carroll Shelby took him on it was an airstrip when they were designing the GT40 back in the 60s.
Yeah.
Ford was dumping all this money in there, and he showed up and he thought he was hot crap walking in there. He's like, I want to see what I'm spending all this money on. So Carroll Shelby took him for a drive on this airstrip, and then he's like holding on the whole time, and then he spins the car out and stops and looks over, and Henry Ford just he just starts crying because he was so terrified. But You know, because nobody saw any kind of performance like that.
Yep, not like that back then. Holy cow! It's just it's fascinating to me. I mean, just where modern technology is going all the time. It's always changing.
And I didn't even want to, going back to the LASIK thing. Yeah. They told me one of the side effects that happens to like 20% of the people is you have permanent halos around lights. Oh. They said you're going to have it right away, like right after the surgery. You're going to see the halos. I don't know why, but she goes, for some people that doesn't go away. And I'm like, I drive at night because I was a road driver at that point. I was driving at night, like, and the first couple nights, halos
all the time.
Holy, that was rough driving at night. Because every time you see any kind of light, a street light, a turn signal, there was a halo, so it blocked. And man, those first couple nights, I was like, oh, please go away, please go away. Right. And like a week later, the halos got less and less. The only side effect I have from that laser surgery is my eyes get dry real quick. Like I got to use it. Well, I don't have it with me now, but I usually carry a little bottle of Visine or those artificial tears. You just throw them in your eye. That's the only side effect I had from it. It was the best money I ever spent.
Yeah.
Because I used to wear contacts at work.
Right.
And I lost so many of them because, you know, that's back when I still had to work the dock and everything.
Yeah.
And wind whips up through the dock plate, dirt gets in your eye, you rub it. Oh, where's my contact?
Yep.
You know, now you got to go out in the truck and get your glasses and throw them on. And
or even when you're just sitting in the truck and you're just driving and you got the air on. It's the wintertime.
Yeah,
it dries your eyeballs out. When it used to drive me crazy when I had contacts.
Yeah.
You know, you go to rub your eye and your contacts on your finger, or it falls out, rolls down your cheek and on the floor. Well,
that's
it sucks. So yeah, I totally get that. But yeah, it's just neat. It's fascinating.
Yeah, I should have done it a little sooner, but I waited because of the side effects. The guy who did my eyes, he used to do all the surgeons at the hospital. That's why I felt comfortable going with him.
Right.
And he goes, these guys, you know, his thing that convinced me was he just did an airline pilot who makes God knows how much money the airline pilots, or at least used to make. He trusted him with his eyes, and he needs his eyes to fly a plane. He's like,
yeah.
I was like, all right, well then let's go with that. And my wife found him because she used to work at the hospital. And so yeah, it was awesome, but I'm so glad I didn't see the video beforehand. Or I would have said, no, that's not happening. You're not coming near my eyes with that damn thing.
It's weird because that's like, you know, that I actually sat down before I had my hip surgery. I sat down and watched the video because I wanted to see what it was like. Oof. And they literally hammer the spike into your hip bone. I had no idea until I'm watching that video. I'm like, that's crazy.
I'm gonna be unconscious, right?
Yeah.
Well, see, I knew that because I used to deliver up the Striker. Okay, I used to be a place called Cannon Muskegon out of Muskegon, Michigan. We'd be bringing it once a week, these ingots, you know, and they would just melt it down, make all the parts, and they also made the tools.
You mean the parts for like hip replacement?
Yeah, stuff? Hip, knee, whatever. That's why I kept asking you what kind of replacement were you getting? Right. Because you know I have a knee that didn't pass their QC. I have it at home. It's the whole knuckle and everything.
It's
pretty. Yeah, it's pretty neat. And
that's fascinating.
Because it used to be every Wednesday up there in Mahwah, down in East Rutherford over Fairlawn. That Fairlawn was Biomet, but the guy up in Mahwah says. He says, I said, what the hell's those hammers for? He said, oh, that's the toolkit.
Yep.
And I says, what do you mean toolkit? And they were the ones that couldn't pass to go, you know, QC for the hospital. It's the whole, I mean, they had a whole little kit, the little, you know, in the pouch and everything. They just rolled it out. There it all is.
Yep.
I was like, wow.
It's like some chef with his tools.
Yeah, exactly.
They're on the table.
But the amount of, just by delivering up there and bringing back the bins of, you know, parts that didn't pass. No, that didn't pass. They had the little flaws in them.
Yep.
I'm like, he said, oh yeah, we can get through this. And then all they do is melt it back down, put it in an ingot, and bring it back a couple months later.
Again, you know? Start all over again.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's just crazy. That's what I mean. It's really weird. Just the things that we look at, you know, what we're able to see and what we're able to do, what we're able to you know, the freedom of movement, the freedom of sight.
That's why everybody's back. They say that's why everyone's back hurts and stuff, because the human body was not designed to last past 40 years old. You know, it was
crazy, isn't it?
I heard an interview with a doctor. He says your back is supposed to be a clothesline. We're using it as a flagpole.
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to be like we're apes, but that's what they say anyway.
Right.
Yeah, we're supposed to be like down on, so it's supposed to be like a clothesline, and we're standing straight up. That's why everybody has back problems, neck problems. It's just we're evolving, and now with the technology, my dad had how many of his vertebrae fused? So I mean, he's like this. You know, he can't really turn his neck too much, but he has vertebrae fused. He's had both knees replaced. You know, and I watched a video of the knee replacement. Yeah, that was just as horrific as what you were describing.
Yeah, it's just as freaking crazy.
My dad was looking at it, he's like, all right. He's like, no, turn it off. I didn't want to see no more.
Yeah,
after that, because
I feel if I get my knees done, it's going to be towards the end of the twilight of the trucking, because at that point, we're done.
Yeah,
that's got to be hard getting in. Well, even with your hip, getting in and out of the truck.
The hip really. I mean. I when I see guys who have their knees done, they sometimes have more problems getting around than like the hip, because I mean there's really no there's no moving. When I say no moving parts, I mean like your hip hinges, but it's just a ball sitting inside. You know, so they put a ceramic head on it, and it sets inside like a titanium socket.
Right.
That's it.
It's just a ball.
Where
it's just a half moon.
You got these two parts that are going like this when you have your knee done.
This may sound like a dumb question, but what do they use as lubricant? Like
just the fluid. It's just your body fluid.
Just your body fluid. Yeah, they don't put a grease joint on the side of your thing. Grease every 50,000.
But that is literally nothing. But there's also nothing keeping that hip together,
right?
Except for
your muscles
gravity when you're standing. That's it.
And your muscles too.
And your muscles and tendons that grow back over.
That's why it's like I haven't asked the doctor this, but it's like I have an inversion table for like to let my back.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like because you can I mean if it pops out, it'll just telescope. Like it'll just if it comes out of the socket, you'll collapse.
Oh, okay.
Believe me, that was like one of the things that was going through my head when I came home. I'm like, I don't want.
Don't overextend.
Yeah, like you didn't used to be able to bend like you weren't supposed to bend your knee above your hip.
Okay.
Like you couldn't squat down.
Yeah.
Because it could dislocate that and stuff like and I just think to myself now that my doctor said don't worry about those things anymore and that kind of stuff, but I'm like I'm not pushing it. I ain't trying. We're not gonna go.
You bend down, you hear a pop. It's like I don't think we're coming back.
Exactly. We're just falling over. We're just going to the right.
Right. Lean to the left.
Let me go. It's okay. We're good.
Yeah, it is amazing what they can do with that.
It's fascinating. It is, and I mean when they, that's what was so fat when it was done. Just they're using a hammer to hammer that spike in. And they
and that spike is about the size of this pen. Before
it's like that.
And how do they know it's not going to just split your hip bone apart?
Because they all the measurements. From what I understood, they the different sizes. And then when
small,
they hammer
medium,
it in there,
large head,
ball. I mean that's for lack of a better way. I
don't know. I measured wood already, plenty of time at home too, and I still put I drilled the starter hole, put the screw in it, and it split the wood apart.
I just think, how do they? I mean, they have to know exactly how to cut because they cut it off at an angle. The top, the joint, the ball part of your hip, of your femur. They cut that off at an angle so that when they hammer this thing in, it's like just the way it sets. And I just think to myself, just make sure you cut it off right.
Wow.
I don't want to
make sure you have the right angle.
You start leaning on. I think I need an alignment.
Stuff. It's just weird stuff.
That's all right. Just put a shim under that left shoe.
and then they sew this thing shut. And he went in from the front. And it's like they can do a front, a lateral, or the back. And if they go through the back, then they have to move all the muscles out of the way and cut through some of your buttock and that kind of stuff. So it takes longer to actually heal. Where the way he went in, he said it heals it's the fastest way, blah blah blah, all that stuff.
Oh my god!
And I was like, okay, so you watch it, and you just watch one, just bring it up and watch it on YouTube sometime. It's crazy. You're just seeing this guy go whack, whack, and I'm like, what is he doing?
I think I'll pass.
I wanted to know what I was getting into.
I don't want to know. I didn't want to know. Like they said, don't you want to ask any questions? I said, no, I don't, because I'm not good with anything to do with the body stuff. Like my wife and I never had any kids. But if we would have, I would have been that dumb that would have held my breath and passed out in the delivery room. I don't do well with any kind of blood or juices coming out of the body.
Birth was the creepiest. It was just crazy to me. I didn't like it. I did not. I love my kids, but I didn't like watching them be born because that's just not. It's just not kosher. I agree with you. It's weird.
The woman I was dating before my wife, we went over. I was only dating her 6 months. Thanksgiving came around. Hey, do you want to come over to my family? And I'm like, all right, sure. We went over there
for this.
Right after dinner. What happened? Her cousin just had a baby. They popped the videotape in.
Oh,
I was like,
why would you videotape this?
I don't know, but I saw the woman who's sitting literally next. I was sitting next to her.
Yeah.
I'm seeing her
You
spread
saw
eagle.
everything. Yeah.
I was like,
that's more than I need to see.
Pass the stuffing.
Yeah, and then the whole birthing process. And my girlfriend at the time, she looked at me. She's like, "Are you okay?" I said, "No, I'm not okay. I don't do well with. I knew I didn't do well with this stuff, but I held it together. Not like I threw up or went ew
or passed.
But I was like, I said, I'd never want to see that again.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Or her.
Yeah, it's like I couldn't look at her.
I'm not going to Christmas.
I just saw her crotch go through probably one of the most horrific things a crotch can go through. I don't need to look at her in the face.
I have never this is it's my own mindset on it, but I don't understand that. I mean, okay, you might want to videotape it for yourself, but why would you show that to anybody?
I don't know. But
it
was all the especially all the guys you could tell weren't that into it, but all the way, oh my God, that's the most beautiful thing in the world.
Not.
I have a movie called Alien. Same kind of thing. Comes bursting out. And I was like, that's not very beautiful.
Nope. I totally agree with that. It is not
I was traumatized by that. Needless to say, we didn't stay together too much longer after that. I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
But more Thanksgiving dinners. I'm good. No, I don't want to see mom and dad again.
My wife there used to be a channel on when we had Zer's electric TV. I called it the surgery channel. I don't know what it was actually called, but every time she turned it on, it was all these like different surgeries, like an appendectomy, and one showed breast reduction surgeries. Like, my wife's like, isn't this fascinating? My wife used to be an EMT, so that crap bothers her. I was like, this is the most horrific thing. Now I'll watch a horror movie or sci-fi because it's not real.
Fake.
Yes, I know it's not real.
Did you ever see I saw one on like one of those channels where they're like working on some? I didn't know. I thought it was a knee. I thought it was somebody until he pulled their face up.
Oh,
and I was like, that's gross.
What was like doing like a
They
face
were like
lift
working on the top of his head. This person's head. So they had this all rolled down. You couldn't tell. It just looked like the rounded part. Like a knee, like it was a kneecap.
It was a
That's
skull.
what I thought. I'm looking at something. Oh, we're working on somebody's knee, and then he rolls his face up, and I was like, "That's wrong.
That's Fred."
What the heck?
That's not for me.
No, it's not. What is this? Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah.
What the heck?
I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't do well with any of
that. No, I don't either. That's but I wanted to know before I laid down on the bed. I wanted to know, and I think for me the freakiest thing wasn't the surgery. It was getting an epidural, because then your legs go totally numb. Everything is numb from like your belly button down.
You weren't awake during the surgery though, right?
No, okay. I woke up during the surgery, but I wasn't awake when it started. Okay. But I heard it hammering.
He heard the tin knocker going.
I was like,
wow, the neighbors are making a lot of noise today. Oh wait, no, that's me.
In my head, I heard somebody use the F word. I'm like, the heck?
Oh, you never want to hear the surgeon.
You don't want to hear the surgeon. Me.
I know. And then everything went dead again. I was like, they must have just cranked it up a little bit.
He's waking up. Let's give him a little bit more.
I don't know what it was.
The nurse was over there on her phone. Oh crap, he's waking up. Let's give him a little bit more.
That was the craziest thing. But I think the epidural was weird. Because women do that when they give birth, and it's like, if I was giving birth, I'd want an epidural. I want I like to have an epidural just for the fun of it, just so I can say I'm gonna lay.
My back hurts. Give me something to make it go away so I can sleep.
So I can just sleep.
Yeah, but correct me if I'm wrong, but women giving birth and they get the epidural, wasn't that it was a needle?
It goes down their spine,
into their spine. I looked at her. I says, it's your spine, but I'm not voting for it. But it's your call.
I don't know how, because like when the doctor put it in me, I was facing away from him. He's standing behind me. He just don't move. So I don't know how far down he's like what he's doing. I just know it's going in,
right?
And I don't know how far. And it, so I don't know like if he slides it down through.
I don't know.
It was weird. He said, "Don't move," and I'm like,
"Guy in the back, don't move." I don't know how far it's going in.
I know. I can.
Don't move.
Yeah, exactly. But
or if you turn around and say, "Is it in yet?"
Yeah, and then everything gets really warm. I know it really does sound weird, doesn't it? But like your legs feel warm, and then everything there's nothing. You don't feel anything, which is the best.
I guess. I don't know.
Well, it's better. It's better than feeling it.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
or you could have just had me drink profusely the night before.
Could have really enjoyed this,
I could get the same numbness with a bottle of Crown.
How the hell do we get on this from a trucking podcast?
I don't know. But the funniest, one of the weirdest things was like the nurse is like, she comes in to shave you, and you're like, okay. So you're just laying there, she's talking, and my wife is sitting there. We're all just kind of shooting the breeze. And then she goes, what side do you have? And she's shaving the wrong side. I didn't know. Like, she didn't say, well, why didn't you say something?
Are you supposed to know this?
Well, she didn't say to me, what side you haven't operated on.
Holy
she just
crap.
started at shaving. And I was like, I'm just, we're talking. I'm like trying to ignore this whole thing,
She comes in and starts shaving your
And then she
groin.
goes-
No,
and then
lady,
she
we're not
goes,
doing anything with that.
What side are you doing? And I said, my right. And she's standing on my left. She goes, well, why didn't you say something? I didn't know.
I'm just here for shave.
I'm a little behind on my manscaping, so I figured I'd let you take care of it.
Then the doctor comes in and marks your hip. Like he's like, I want to make sure we do the right one. Which one are we doing? I'm like,
yeah, they asked me that with my
This
eye,
side.
like 4 times. And when I got the second eye done, I'm like, well, what are you here for today? Oh, the left knee. And I just kind of look because I think you should.
Yeah, it's like don't screw around when they're doing
I
that.
just want to see if you're paying attention.
The worst is a doctor with a sense of humor. When I went in, I had my gallbladder exploded on me.
Wow,
and that was really painful.
That ain't good. Yeah,
and they roll me in. They roll you into the surgery,
Right.
and the guy comes in, and he's all happy-go-lucky, and he goes, "Oh, so what are we doing today? Oh, I see we're taking your appendix out." I'm like, no. He goes, "No, I'm just messing with you." I was like, "No,
You're going in there for gallbladder. Might as well get it out while you're there."
If you're going,
that's not necessary either. So what the heck? Let's take it out.
But he's like, "No, I'm just kidding with you, dude."
Well, how much does it weigh? Like if it's gonna make me lighter for the DOT physical.
I think they said my gallbladder was. They did it in grams. However many grams. Well, not that much lighter. I guess I did my weight loss for the day.
It is crazy, That's why I mean it's like it's fascinating the time we're living in, and yet at the same time you think, what will it be like in another 50 years?
There won't even be people like cut. You won't. A lot of times you won't have to be cutting. Like even with my gallbladder, I have 3 tiny little
little incisions.
The laparoscopic. They did it. They didn't have to cut me. My brother, he had his appendix burst. So they had a cut. He has a big giant.
Wow.
Big
J.
Yeah, like a big J on the. But his wife had appendicitis, so they removed it, and she just has one little slit that you can see on the side, and then one on the side.
Isn't that crazy?
They just cut it apart and pulled it out piece by piece. What they did with my gallbladder.
That is, it's amazing.
Years ago, and my brother had open heart surgery when he was a baby. And he's got a big scar down, and now they don't even have to do that. They go up through your thigh, I guess, to get up to your heart and everything. So
that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing what we can do. When I see the pictures of I'm glad I made the choice to be a truck driver.
Yeah, me too. Boy,
I can't do.
When we had Scotty Van Auken's wife in.
She's a nurse.
Yeah, she's a nurse. Very nice lady. We had a nice time. She was fun. She was fun to chit chat with. Yeah, you heard her show.
Yeah,
she was funny, but I don't know how you do it for a living. I don't know how. Thank God there are people who do it, but I don't know how you do it.
For every magical moment you're helping somebody out of the hospital, there's 10,000 other moments of someone crapping in the bed or barfing all over the place.
Yes, it is. Or husbands passing out during birth.
Yeah, well, that would have been me.
It's a fascinating thing. This show really took kind of a weird turn. It's like who figured that we were going down that road, but.
Emergency room legends. You should do another show.
That might be interesting. No graphics.
No, definitely not. The video aspect, we'll do an audio only podcast.
Yeah, exactly. It's bad enough just some of the stuff that you see, and like you said, movies is one thing because it's fake. You know it in your head. You're like, yeah. I've sat and watched movies that I've gotten queasy, but. Never like I'm gonna, but boy, when I think about if I had to do that for a living.
Real stuff.
Yeah.
My wife was an EMT, and some of the stories she used to tell me. Now, my wife now, if she even thinks about vomit, that's it.
Really?
I was like, how were you an EMT? She goes, I don't know. I just got lucky. I didn't have to deal with any of that.
Wow.
I was like, you did get lucky when you were in EMT.
God bless her. Holy cow. That's like
blood, guts, none of that bothers her, but vomit is
that's
just
the thing that throws her over the edge.
Like,
which I understand. I mean,
it's
totally
not nice, but I'd rather see somebody barf than, get their arm cut off or something.
Right. I mean, I've had one of my kids throw up on my foot. And I was like, that's bad enough. Like vomit's bad enough. I don't know how you do the whole blood and guts thing.
Back in our drinking days, my wife had to clean up more than enough of my vomit, and I had to clean up hers. So I guess that's in sickness and in health.
Yeah, there you sickness and health. Yeah, it's sick.
It is. It's very sick.
It really is. But it's all right. It's all gooder. As Shipper says. But it's just crazy. I just think it's fascinating. It's a crazy world. It's like it's like looking at the trucking industry. I mean, look at where we're at. When you look at where things have gone, just the technology of where we're at.
Yeah. When we went back, we started at Pitt, Ohio. Were you there when they still had some of those old R model Macs in there?
Yeah.
What a rickety bucket of crap that was. And now we have, not that our trucks don't make a lot of noise and rattle and squeak, but all the electronics and stuff that make it both easier and more of a pain in the ass with the nannies. But it's just, I can't imagine what it's going to be like by the time,
oh my world,
we get to retirement or, even a few years after that. It's just,
as long as we're not doing automated, autonomous trucks,
it ain't happening
by the time we retire. That's all I'm asking.
I can't get cars.
What happens after that is not on me. I feel bad for the younger generation.
The way I look at it, they still have engineers and trains.
I'm on this plan.
I know. He's on the one-handed plan now.
They can't even do it with trains. They still have an engineer in the train. Even now it's down to pretty much one guy for a 2-mile long train, but still, they still got to have that one guy. It ain't going to be automated anything.
It's like, I've thought about that too. And it's like, there's no way you can automate the backing in the city part of what we do.
Well, they don't even want that. Like the people that want the automated trucking, they want just simple highway stuff.
Yep.
Like have just giant drop yards all over the place where these robots get off the highway, drop a trailer, and then the last mile stuff is an actual human driver.
Yeah, because you're
gonna. But even that isn't. I don't see that happening. With everybody, every car, every truck is on a computer network system, and they're all talking to each other.
Yep.
Maybe, but when you got these buffoons that we see out on the road every day
doing that point, you're right.
Nonsense that just.
That's what's so unbelievable about movies like Demolition Man, which was years ahead of its time. Because when you watch Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes, they can either do the automated driving or they can do self-driving and all that kind. And there's just no way that a self-driving person sitting in a self-driving car is going to interact with an autonomous vehicle in a logical way that an autonomous vehicle is going to understand what they're doing. There's just no way. It's too unpredictable.
Yeah, the human in that part is the most unpredictable part. The computer,
that's what I mean. That's
two autonomous cars will talk to each other.
Yep.
When they want to get over, they'll be able. But you get these buffoons out here, and my wife gets so angry with me when I tell her about the shows on the road during the day.
Yeah.
My thing is everybody, and I know it'll never happen, but in my dream world, if I ran the world,
right,
everybody every 10 years
Talk to me,
has
Trump.
to take a. every 10 years has to take a driving test.
Yeah,
basic driving skills.
Yep.
Now I'm not talking anything, but basic because you take your learner's permit and your driver's test when you're 16 years old.
Yep.
That's it. You're good to your 80 or 90.
Yep.
That's it. You want and these buffoons that are out there, just some of the dumb crap that they do. They're taking their life in their hand
and yours, and they don't think twice about it.
And the elderly, I think, once you hit 70 years old. You should have to let's knock it down to 3 or 5 years, whatever. Every time you renew your license, let's take a basic driving skill. Make sure you can still see. Literally
a skills test.
I mean,
I agree.
The elderly on the roadway are way more dangerous, in my opinion, than some of the young drivers.
Right.
The young drivers, you can know what they're going to do. They're going to go too fast.
Yep.
They're going to try to weave.
Yep.
The old person going down the road.
Just stay off the roads until after 5 p.m.
Yeah, I know.
They'll be home from Denny's for the early
bird special.
I always get nervous when I'm going down the road and I can't see the person's head in the car. I'm like, that's an old person. And sure enough, when they do something dumb or they're doing 10 miles an hour under the speed limit in the middle lane, which is my passing lane, I can't get around them for 20 miles. Drives me nuts.
Yep.
And you look over. Yep, that's what I thought.
Yep. It's crazy. I know. And that's how Michelle looks when she's driving.
Your wife is kind of short.
She's really short. It's like when she drove the Ultima, that's how it was. I could see her hands. I couldn't see her head. Like if I'm behind her, I couldn't see her head. I couldn't see her. All I see is this non-occupant driving car. It's just driving all by itself. It is an autonomous vehicle because you couldn't see her.
My grandmother was like that. She was like, I think a 5 foot or maybe in a little. And that Scout I was telling you about, my grandfather had, when she used to drive it, she looked through the steering wheel over the dashboard, and because there was a bench seat in that thing, there was no height adjustments like these newer cars can.
Yep.
No, she looked through the steering. I was like, how do you see anything? Well, I could see, the 3 inches right there. That's all I need to see.
It's like a little screen TV.
If she had a look, she would actually like move herself around the steering wheel and look on your side.
It's crazy. I know and I agree with this. Here's where it really, for me, it falls apart. Is like when I see, and I mean nothing in a mean way or anything like that, but older people who have a tendency to they don't walk steady. And when I say it, I mean like I know it sounds like I'm not trying to be mean. I don't mean it. It just worries me.
I should use that excuse more often.
Their reflexes, are not. You know what I mean? Like they have and I don't. That's what I mean. I don't mean it to me. It's just I agree with you. It's like of course, like you said, young people. I mean, they're goofballs.
Well, that's why I admire my grandfather so much. He was a truck driver, and he knew when he started getting older. He goes, nope, I can't do it. He wouldn't drive when it was even a little cloudy out. He refused to drive because he didn't see so well anymore. Bright and sunny, he was like, I'll go out, but he's like, oh, and he was like at a few places, a few times. He said, he didn't realize it got dark. He's like, he made somebody drive him home, or he got a ride. He refused to go out.
That's fantastic.
And he knew it. I admire that.
Yeah, I say it to Michelle all the time. When I get to that point, I've driven enough.
Yeah,
I don't want to drive it.
That's what he used to say too. He's like, I got nothing to prove. I drove enough miles.
I've done it. It don't matter. I don't care anymore. Yeah,
that's just hard. That's the biggest problem, especially during the day when I'm driving now. It's the elderly out on the road because like coming down 287 and everything. When lanes merge, like when you right around 80, where 80 comes into 287 south, you got like 2 lanes coming off of 80. You got 3 or 4 lanes for 287.
Yeah.
That merging just confuses the crap out of these elderly people, and they're the ones that are causing them. Yeah, they're going back, and then a truck blows the air horn at them, then they get scared and they turn hard right. That's I know we just pissed off your older population listening to thing here, but that's what we see out on the road.
It's what we see as drivers, and that's is who we're talking to.
Don't worry about that. In 5 minutes, they won't remember what you said.
Is Joe Biden listening?
There we go. Their shipper winning.
They just know it's
people.
Vanilla pudding.
Did you say Jello pudding?
Vanilla.
Oh, I like Jello pudding. I don't mind vanilla either, but I like tapioca.
Well, there's no flavor called Jello. That's the manufacturer.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Jello makes vanilla, butterscotch,
and tapioca. Yes. But no, it's true. And I mean, at nighttime, you look down and you always see somebody on their phone texting. Those are the people who are getting closer to you and closer to, that's the main thing of what we see at night. I mean, you drove it at night.
Well, because I told my wife, I was like, everybody has their phone. She's like, well, it's not everybody. I was like, no, it's literally everybody.
No, they do.
I can count on like my both hands during the day. I see a person that doesn't have a phone either on their lap or in their hand, or if it's up on a holder, they're up there like doing this while they're going down the road. Everybody is on the phone, and it's really That's why I stopped driving or riding my motorcycle.
Oh, no doubt.
Because it's like that year before
he couldn't hold the phone up.
It was very difficult to handle bars, and then you hit a bump and the thing goes in.
The motor vibration and kept making him text autocorrect.
But when that drunk hit me,
it's that selfie stick, it's getting in the way.
Hold it up as you're driving down the road. Or they have the GoPro on the helmet like some of those guys. when they're doing something stupid, they think it's going to look cool, and they actually
until it hurts.
They actually help the cops out decide what the hell just happened.
Yeah, you got hit by a drunk
with the Mustang. When I had my classic Mustang, I had the '65 Mustang.
Yeah.
I owned it 3 weeks, fully restored, and we were coming home. We were supposed to be on the motor. We were on the motorcycle all day long.
Yeah,
I had a Harley. We were on, and then my wife said, "I want to go to a free concert out to Steel Stacks." They were doing. And I said, well, we'll take the bike. And then she wanted to take the lawn chairs. And I have lawn chairs specifically for the bikes. They fit in the saddlebags. They were everything. But she's like, nah, my back. She wanted the big lawn chair. So I was like, all right, well, let's, I haven't driven the Mustang. It's been sitting in the garage for a while. Let's take that.
Right.
We drove out, the concert. On the way home, we were a mile from getting off at our exit at Cedar Crest. And my wife and I are talking. I don't even have the radio on. And I was like, what's that noise? And you heard this like, I was like, what the hell is that? I look over to my side. I see a Subaru Outback going past me, headlights facing me, going past me. And he comes over and just kisses the front of the car.
Wow.
And pushes me towards the guardrail. And then, of course, I didn't have any power steering other than I go to counter steer.
Yeah.
And I just immediately get shot right into the Jersey wall, head on into the Jersey wall. Luckily, I was slowing down for my exit. So I was only doing maybe 50. But this is a 65 Mustang. No airbags, lap belts only, which I didn't even have on. My wife said she had hers on. And we just kissed the wall. He hit the guardrail. It totaled the car. We spent the night in the hospital because my wife's neck was really hurting. And I smashed my face on the steering wheel. You don't realize how nice these new leather-bound steering wheels
padded,
are.
A little. They don't seem padded, but they are.
And the Mustang was a plastic with a metal ring. Plastic-coated metal ring, and your face bounces off of that. It freaking hurts. But yeah, right after that,
Ford's tattooed across your forehead.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
The next day, my bike was up for sale because I was like, the whole year before that, I've had so many close calls, and it was mostly people on phones, not paying attention. And I had do you remember my bike?
Yeah.
It was bright white.
Yep.
And I had blue lights galore on. You couldn't miss this giant fat man on a big white motorcycle, had a white helmet, everything. You couldn't miss me, and people kept pulling out in front of me all the time. And it's like they weren't paying attention. I was like, that's it. I'm done.
Yep. That has always kept me from getting one. Michelle loves them. Michelle loves motorcycles, and she never bothered. She never pestered me about it, but she would have liked if I'd have had one. I had a dirt bike when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That was it. I was not going to, I've never trusted it. I watched my brother. I watched my brother-in-law. I watched my brother-in-law have a pretty bad accident. He was out of work for a long time.
Yeah,
I was like, why I don't.
Well, because if we would have been on that bike and that would have happened, we wouldn't be here. I guarantee the way he hit to me, it felt like a little kiss of the car.
Sure.
But when I went into the wall, I went more on the passenger side. So the driver's side fender wasn't touched by the wall, but he pushed in pretty far. So it was more than just a kiss, but I didn't. Yeah. He hit me because and then his excuse was, well, you were going so slow. I came up behind you. Well, then how fast were you going? I was doing the speed limit there is 55.
Right.
And I know I was probably doing about 50 because my exit was right here. So, those drum brakes on those old Mustang, they're not exactly real quick. So you start slowing down. The cop estimated, judging by the skid marks, he was doing about 85.
Wow.
And he was drunk. I didn't know it at the time because, he cried. He came over. He's like, did I hit you? And if I wouldn't have been on the other side of the highway and he was over by the guardrail, I would have strangled that little idiot. Because I was worried about my wife because she wanted to get out of the car. There was an EMT that actually stopped and was holding her neck because, those low back bucket seats. Yeah. We didn't know how bad it was.
Right.
So she didn't know if she hit her face or anything. I would have throttled him. And then when they took my wife away in the ambulance, one of the guys that was there who witnessed it, he gave me a ride home because I was only about a mile away.
Uh-huh.
And they were getting the car up on. I was seeing my Mustang that I worked my entire life. I wanted a Mustang, a classic Mustang, my entire life. I owned it 3 weeks. Great. I didn't even have a title from Harrisburg yet.
Wow!
And at that point, it was worth $3 $100.
Yep.
At the scrapyard.
It was worth $4,800 on Copart. Because I watched it. I went online. I saw it go through the whole thing.
All the pieces.
Yeah. Well, no, it went as a whole car.
Somebody bought it as a whole?
I guess the guy fixed it. Because my insurance company totaled it.
Yeah.
But because I had classic car insurance on it. So I made money off I only paid I had 13,000 wrapped up in the car. I got 18.5 because I insured it for what I thought the car was worth. You can do that with a classic car, but still, it's like I worked my entire life to save up for that car. I had 3 weeks. I just got it.
Isn't it crazy?
Well, maybe it was like about a month, but I just don't have the title. So I couldn't get an insurance check until I had a title to give to them.
That is sad.
So I'm calling Harrisburg and
trying to get
finally got my title, and then I got my money back. But after that,
it's just nuts.
So we were on the I was like, I parked the motorcycle, put it out front, put a for sale sign.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
You know, and I love that bike. That was a 07 Harley.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
You know, I spent so much money dressing it up the way we liked it.
Right.
Mostly that was my wife. I just wanted a motorcycle. I wanted the Harley. I didn't really care about all the chrome in it. She liked all that, but it was like, it was time to go after that.
It's just crazy, and that's you just can't trust people.
No,
you know, in that respect, you know, I mean, like it's why
it's in every respect. I don't trust people. Period.
That's the truth.
I don't.
Oh yeah, it's like, I mean, how does this happen? How does it? Michelle starts getting. Somebody starts like I don't know how they got her card number, but like $10 at a time. Somebody in California taking. The bank called. And there's like 5 withdrawals within like, you know, it's 5 right in a row. And I'm like, she goes, yeah, I got a call from the bank that, you know, there was an alert for, and I was like, what happened? I don't know. Somebody got my card number, and I'm like, that's ridiculous. So yeah, you can't trust people. You can't trust anybody. I don't even trust Shipper. Have you ever ridden with him? Don't trust him. Stay out of his vehicle. He'll kill you. Nah, I'm teasing. Shipper's a good guy. He's got new peepers and he sees really well.
What the hell was going on before?
That's what I want to know. Because he said to me, like, it's not like it's dim anymore.
Don't call me dim no more.
It's not like I have sunglasses on because I never had to wear sunglasses. Well, I know why.
Drive at night.
It's not dim anymore. Oh my God.
Well, think about it. When you go for your DOT test, it's always during the day. Yeah, I got 20/20.
Holy shit! I thought 78 had 4 lanes. This is actually only 2.
I really noticed it, and this was the reason why I took the Harrisburg run or the Ross run, then the Harrisburg run, because I went up on 80 with Switzer in a snowstorm, and I think we were going to Kylertown, and we were following each other out, and Mikey says, just go ahead because I know you got to be there first for some reason. I said, yeah, fine. And snow started getting bad, and I waited for him. I says, you go first. I can't see. Mikey's like, what are you talking about? You can't see. I says, I'm just going to follow you. And that was the last, honest to God, that was the last I was up on 80.
Wow.
You know, so.
I don't blame you. I totally don't. like the welding glasses came off.
Yeah.
You can see. We drive at night.
Yeah.
But you want to know the funny thing? Last night, here I am driving down the highway. It was like 1 a.m. People come by me.
Shipper's going up. I want to feel nostalgic. I'm going to put my sunglasses on like it was before.
I'm like, yeah, these bright lights don't bother anything.
Oh, my word.
But yeah, I never knew it until, like I said, I had the one eye done. And I, closed to look out the other one. And it was tinted. That was the cataract.
What was it? Cataract.
Yeah. And I had them in both eyes, so it was a match set. So it just looked always cloudy outside on a sunny day.
Because you don't really know that it looks cloudy out until you get one done.
It happens slowly, so
it's over
you don't notice it.
Yeah.
And it's like I was talking to Schiffer the other day down in, he's down in Carolinas there. He says, and I said to him, I said, yeah, I never wore sunglasses.
Didn't have to.
And he said, and he said the same thing. He says, you know what? He says, all the years I've known you, I've never seen you with sunglasses on.
No.
And I says, I don't know. I guess that was the reason.
Yeah.
And he said the same thing with him. He says, I can't go out without him. I can't go outside without him. Now that I got new things, it's like,
oh yeah.
And he's got these high definition lenses.
Yeah.
Literally.
That reflect.
Yeah. I was like, what do you mean high definition? He's like, they're like HD lenses. I'm like, holy crap.
What are they, like polarized or something? Like,
not.
Because you could get regular ones.
I could get regular ones that Blue Cross covered, or I get these high def ones that they didn't cover. She says
Ultra 4K.
Yeah, but that's the way I explain it. She says, well, yeah, we'll go with that explanation. And I'm like, fine, do that.
Yeah.
Because you're only going on them once, you know?
Yeah, wow, that's
Isn't that crazy?
pretty.
It's like that's enough to make you want to just go do it.
It depends which way.
I don't know about that.
Which way I turn my head and how the light's shining. He says you can see it looks like a cat's eye.
Yep.
You know, the reflection out of the cat's eye.
Yeah, you can see the light. It reflects off. I don't know what's reflecting
Like,
off of.
I don't see
That's
anything.
crazy. Yeah.
But when I wore glasses, like when I'm wearing glasses or contacts, I didn't really think too much about sunglasses. I just bought cheap gas station ones.
Yeah.
But when I had the LASIK done, that's when I spent the money. I got good polarized glasses because the glare off of stuff really got to me.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure I wasn't dimming like you were, but just because I can see now and everything's crystal clear, you really notice the bright. I mean,
it's fascinating. Think of how cool sunglasses are nowadays.
Yeah,
they're polarized. They do this. They can do that. Knock out the blue light. Do this, and it's crazy.
My wife has those blue light blockers because she couldn't sleep, and she's always on their stupid iPad. So she bought these blue light things, and they just look like regular glasses.
Right.
But I mean, on these,
Does it help?
No,
I'm curious.
No, she doesn't notice a difference. Like she's a migraine sufferer, so she says it kind of helps, I guess, with that.
Oh, that's
if she's
good.
staring at the screen for too long. But on most of these new ones, you can turn the blue light off on your phone.
Oh yeah.
So it's like.
I didn't know that. I really didn't know that.
I forget what it's called on the phone though. You can go on there and
Blue light, red light, yellow light,
green light.
green light.
It makes everything that's soft yellow instead of that harsh blue.
Oh, that's what that is.
And it's supposed to help you sleep better at night. If you're one of those guys that goes through your phone before you go to bed,
Michelle does that. She lays there and she's on her phone, but she can't sleep. And I'm like, well, maybe try turning your phone off before you lay down. Turn it off.
My wife was like that. We always had to have a TV in the bedroom. And I'm like, all right, fine, whatever. And then after a while, I got into our house. We had the TV.
Yeah.
And then we switched over to the dish. I'm like, I'm not running a cable in this room.
Right.
I'll get rid of TV. And we haven't had it since.
And now everybody sleeps.
Yeah. I sleep like a rock. It don't matter to me.
I turn my phone off. Michelle doesn't. She does, it's like she has an alarm clock, but she also uses her phone. I'm like, why?
I use my
alarm
phone.
Clock.
I don't like the alarm clocks. They're a pain in the butt. My phone I've gotten used to. I just turn the ringer off so I don't get woken up in the middle of the night. Or they have those night, the moon mode. I forget what.
Yeah,
do not disturb.
Yeah,
I hit that, but that's my alarm and everything. So yeah,
I get that every time I text Jack. It says do not disturb mode.
It actually says on the other
it says on it.
Yeah.
Even if you're texting
weird.
somebody,
it'll tell you
say,
that
they're on do not disturb.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
It's letting you know. Yeah, they're not getting your stuff, dude. So relax. Get over yourself.
You're in the queue whenever they decide to come back up.
You are being ignored.
Yeah. It's like,
basically.
Thanks a lot. I'm your old man. Thanks for ignoring me. That's what I'm trying
I had no
to see.
idea they could see it on the other end.
Yeah. It tells me, and like I don't know if it stays there. That's what I'm looking.
So this way, if you need somebody to bail you out because you need bail money, well, can't use him. Yeah, go to the next one.
That's why I'm throwing mine on. Just do not disturb mode all the time. And my kids, nobody can call me. It doesn't hold on to it, but it does. It does let you know. Because I'm going to do that step next time my wife's car breaks out. She gets a flat tire. When I'm paying for AAA, she calls me. Why are you calling me? Jack did the same thing. I've told this story on this freaking chat. It drove me nuts. I'm like, why am I paying for this?
Didn't Jack have a spare tire in the car? He could change the tire.
I think he did, but I don't know. But he broke down it like on the hill on 78 going up towards Kutztown on the eastbound side. So there was no real shoulder there.
All right.
I think he was really scared because when I pulled up behind him, because there was nothing there. It was before the construction, so there was no shoulder. Okay. And you're like,
it was the slow lane, white line, wall,
hill,
hill.
Because I got there and I was like, wow, dude. You should have just driven up to the freaking exit. That's what I told you. You should just gone to the exit and then pull over.
Matter of fact, that's what you're doing
now. That's what we did do. But I'm like, why are you calling me? I bought you AAA.
I used to say that when I ran the tow truck.
I called AAA and canceled everybody's AAA. I'm like, why am I paying this? It was ridiculous. I could not believe I'm getting a phone call from Michelle on my way home from work. I blew a tire. You have AAA. Yeah, why are you calling me? Jack calls me. I blew a tire. You have AAA. What is the matter with you? Do you not understand what this means?
I think you better buy better tires. You must be buying cheap tires.
Look,
Goes down to gas.
And never have a blowout with a Michelin.
If you're adult enough to drive your own car, you're adult enough to buy your own tires. That's how it's it. End of story. And it's my wife's car. She's adult enough to have a car. And she's always really good. I'm just teasing about Michelle. The whole sidewall blew out.
Oh.
Yeah, it just blew. I mean, she was going across the bridge from Hamburg over to the Hamburg exit. And the whole tire just, like, the sidewalls blew out. And the trip was just, like, setting on the rim when she came to a stop. I'm like, how the heck did you do that?
Was she able to get off the exit? Like,
yeah, she just got right over to the side of the exit, and then I had stopped on. I was on my way home from work anyway, so I stopped and changed, put on her spare, and then she took it to the shop and got tires and blah blah.
That's another thing that people do. Driving on the road, when anything happens, they just stop in the middle of the freaking road. What are you doing?
Yeah, even if your tire went flat, don't stop in the middle of the highway.
It's $150 at the junkyard to buy a new rim.
Yep.
Get the hell off the road before you get run over.
Because it's $40,000 to go to the hospital
or your
in the
life
ambulance.
if you get run over by a truck coming over the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I see that, especially in like Jersey and New York. People have a flat, or like you're going up 87 there, the New York State Thruway to go up there. There's a shoulder, but it's not very wide in some of the spots, and every day somebody breaks down and half their car is sitting out in the road and everything.
I don't get it.
I mean, if on a clear day, okay, you can see them, but if it's
even
raining,
so, you're not ready for it.
Yeah, it's like, get the hell off the road.
That's the thing. You're not ready. You know, like last night, we're heading over up to Mass, and when we got over to
Massachusetts,
Jersey,
not going to church.
Yeah, we're Massachusetts. We're going West Springfield, Massachusetts. There's a FedEx. They had two lanes. The two right lanes were closed for road construction and road work. And where does FedEx break down? In that far left-hand lane. Right before the construction. I was like, really? Everybody's trying to get over, like people lining up behind him because they think, this is get in the right lane, get in the far left lane, everything's closed. And it was going anywhere. And I was just like, get in that center lane and go past them and then go.
No, that requires too much.
It requires thought. It requires thought.
The other day, it was Thursday, coming home from work or coming home, just got on 78. I was waiting in a long, it's rough during rush hour to get on to 78 from 287.
Yep. I'm
going down there, cars, they drive right up to the end there and try to cut over.
Yeah.
Well, this woman did it. And it was a woman. I knew it was a really small, like short, and I only know it's a woman because I saw the skirt.
Right.
She came over and right at the last minute, she misjudged. There's like that curb there.
Yeah.
Well, she jumped that curb and I railed the air horn because I thought she's basically turning right in front of me and I wasn't going to be able to stop.
Right.
So I hit the air horn. She panics, makes a left-hand turn, drives back over the curb in the mud flying and goes up the embankment. And I'm like, I reached up, I pushed a button on the camera just to cover my butt.
Right. And
sure enough, there was a cop right behind her. I was like, finally, a cop is where they need to be. I was like, well, I just kept going. I was waiting to see if a cop was, because I'm the one who hit the air horn and scared the crap out of her.
There's a button you can push on the camera.
The blue buttons on the camera, you hit those are buttons.
Those are buttons.
Yeah.
I just thought they were like things to cover the speakers or the face.
No, those are the actual. Those are buttons to like record an event. You can manually record an event.
I should have read the book.
Well, I didn't read the book either. Somebody told me that. I don't remember who. But
this is a beautiful thing. We share information. We don't have to read anything. We just share.
Yeah, those stupid Lytics cameras.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's good to know.
Yeah, if something happens and like cause an event for you, like break.
Yeah.
But if you want to like cover your push that button and it'll it basically just timestamps the video and sends I think it's 40 seconds, like 20 before, 20 after. Is what it does. But I just want to cover my butt because I mean she definitely messed her car up. Definitely.
Wow.
And she drove up. She was in the gas too. Wow. She was going up the embankment. And then I drove down on Friday when I went down in there. You can see how far up she went and where the tow truck had to pull her back down.
You really scared her, dude.
I got scared because if I wouldn't, because it was wet out, I wouldn't have been able to stop. Yeah, and I'm empty coming back from there. I didn't have any weight in there. There's no way.
It's better for her to have that happen.
But people do that all the time. They got to rush. They don't want to wait in line. Like they're more important than I am. Yeah. I want to get places too. I don't want to wait in this. I don't wait 20 minutes to get off this exit, but sometimes you have to.
Yeah.
They drive right up to the end and I don't think she saw the curb. And she certainly didn't see those big puddles and of water and everything.
Right.
And that car didn't fare so well.
Wow.
It was smoking from underneath there. Like finally a cop was around when you want him to be.
Yep.
That instant karma.
And you didn't. It wasn't you getting in trouble.
It wasn't. But I did push it just in case she would have said, "Oh, in case the cop didn't see what happened." He saw the video and saw what she did.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear. I was waiting. I'm driving down 78. Keep looking in the mirror. Nobody's chasing me yet. Like a cop. I was like,
right.
I guess I'm okay.
Yep, good thing. Yeah.
I didn't hear anything on Friday. They called in on me. But driving during the day is. We went over another podcast. It's a totally different world than what we deal with at night.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it. Well, because it's bad enough just going up to Massachusetts and all that at night. I can't.
What I want to do, which I have done, but I want to do it officially. Most weeks I would make so much more money if I was hourly paid.
Yeah.
But because I'm paid by the mile and I gotta slow down, all the different speed zones up there, and then the construction.
Yep.
You see it at night, the construction up there. During the day, there's just as much. And the other day I went 1 mile in 30 minutes.
Wow.
And all it was somebody was changing light bulbs underneath the bridge there. They had to shut down for 1.5 miles before 2 lanes for a guy to be up there doing something with the lighting underneath one of the overpasses.
That's what I don't get. I don't get those things.
During
miles
the day.
And miles of cones and nobody doing anything. And then you get to the end and there's one guy.
Yeah, there's 10 guys at the bottom looking up at it. One guy in the bucket truck.
How many guys does it take to change a light bulb? Apparently 10.
The whole road crew.
Yeah. This was one thing I was saying to Shipper. I was coming down, and when you see anything happen in Connecticut, there's cops everywhere.
Yeah,
I mean it's not. I don't know how many state troopers they have,
and you can see them.
They have a lot of them,
and they have their lights on all the time. They have their marker lights, blue and red. They're on all the time.
Yeah,
so you can see them coming from way back, and it's like they're not even hiding.
Nope.
They're just there.
And you go through a construction zone. There's like 5 or 6 state troopers. It's in PA, you got one Care Bear.
Yeah,
and
he's usually sleeping.
Every so often there's another one. I'm still in the same construction zone. How many of these guys are there? It's crazy.
Yeah, I guess Connecticut is well funded as far as their police department.
They must be really well funded.
They are everywhere.
Because there was an accident last night, and I counted like 8 police, 8 troopers, and flares for they had to have 100 flares out. I mean, it was just like flare. Like, what are you outlining a body? What in the world are you doing?
Yeah, he was talking about that, and I said to him, I says, "Well, how many people run in the back of those dump trucks with the arrow signs on them? And how bright's that?
That's why they have a collapsible thing. Yeah,
I mean, they just plow into it. I didn't see it. Big 6-foot arrow."
That's happened to me already. You're driving. It says for miles, left lane ending. And you see the truck with the flashing light, the cones are coming. I've had so many. It was only a couple weeks ago. I just hear this thud, 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 thud. I wasn't even looking in my mirror because we were already down to 1 lane.
Right.
And we just went thud, thud, thud. I looked down. There's this idiot knocking over every freaking cone right beside of the truck. So I slam on the brakes because I don't want him to hit the truck, and and then it's a problem. Right. And they get in front of me, and then they flip me off. You must have knocked down 50 cones.
Yep.
And there was a construction guy in one of the trucks. He's just like, I was like,
and he gets in his pickup and backs up and starts putting the cones back up.
If there's any
all
left,
he does, he just sits there and restands them. Let's go, stand them all back up.
Oh, that's
crazy.
That's going to be overtime now. I got to go put the cones back up.
That's crazy. It's just nuts. It's the crap that we put up with in the industry. And you just deal with it because it's what you have to do. What else are you going to do? I mean, we don't have control over everybody else on the road. You wish they'd read the signs.
Yeah, and I don't know how to do anything else but drive a truck anyway.
Right.
My male dancing career was put to bed a long time ago.
Right. You and me both. I mean, the full Monty.
Yeah, and you don't want to see that. Start giving you money. Please keep that on. Half Monty. No. Quarter Monty. Just keep it all on.
Let's just go for dinner.
Yeah.
What time is it? 3 o'clock?
It's dinner time.
The show's over.
I never understood why old people would go to dinner so early. Now that I'm getting a little older,
yep.
I understand. It's nice.
100%.
Yes, it is.
Yep. You go, you get dinner, and you get home before the crowd.
4:30.
Awesome.
My brother comes up from Florida. He's one of these guys that doesn't eat till like 8, 9 o'clock at night. I said, What are you kidding? I says, I'm in bed. I says, we're going at 1. He says, for dinner. I says, call it what you want, but I call it dinner.
Exactly. Call whatever you want to call it.
Go to a nice restaurant. You don't have to fight for reservations at 4:30 in the afternoon. No, we have lots of seating.
Good.
There's
no waiting. You just walk in. Yep.
Then you have the whole night to digest before you go to bed.
Yeah.
And everything.
You don't go to bed full.
It's
It's a beautiful thing. It really is. I totally agree. So.
I was like that in my 40s. Now that I'm in my 50s, I can't wait to see what's going to start happening now.
I have a coupon.
Well, my wife was like that in her 20s.
My wife is like that too. She's like, well, I have a coupon for it. I'm not going to use it, Michelle. Just when you go, you can use it.
My wife will we go into Wegmans, go shopping. She's like, I have a coupon. Here, I'm going to give it to you because I usually have the card and pay and everything.
Right.
So I stick it in my pocket. Well, that's the last time I think about that coupon.
Amen, brother.
She has made us stop after we paid, go back in, go to the service desk to get 25 cents, to get 50 cents back.
Wow.
I was like, that'd be I forgot to use a coupon. Oh, well, don't need that. No.
That's me.
She will go back for 50 cents. That's great. I'm glad I have a woman who's frugal and can help save money, but come on, slow down. I mean, back before.
Slow your roll there, lady. We ain't going back in.
Well, this is a buying economy. You need that 25 cents just to pay for the kilowatt to get you back home.
She's going for gas stations and stuff. I know, it's always going to come back to the electric car. Yeah. You got an EV. Let's take it.
We circle back.
Okay.
Let me hide my extension cord so I don't have to charge the car. But my wife was like that with gas. We go someplace, and she'd go do a jug handle to make the left turn to come back because that gas station was a penny cheaper than the one that was on this side of the road in the direction she was going. I was like, I never run.
You wasted that penny.
I guarantee, probably
spinning around. Yeah, I know it's crazy.
And she finally knocked. Well, we go to Costco now, so whatever the price at Costco is, that's the going price. That's it. I showed her one time when she wanted to save money. I said, okay. I did the calculator thing, and I showed her, all right, you would have saved 22 cents.
Total.
Not
per gallon.
The whole thing, 22 cents. And that's when I had my Ford Expedition way back when. Wow, I had a big gas tank, and I felt like 20 gallons of fuel in it, and it was like a penny cheaper. I saved 20 cents.
Yeah.
To go down and around and then over.
We didn't even calculate a tire wear. We're just saving gas.
That's 23 cents just for that.
And now that I work so many hours, time is way more valuable than money most times.
That is the thing.
If it's going to save me a few minutes and I can get home that much quicker, that I'll spend a little more money.
Yeah. Yep. Time. I agree with that.
Not going back to the EV. You want to buzz my balls? Time is great. I get home, click, plug it in. I haven't pumped gas since February.
Your hands don't smell anymore.
I make fun of my wife. She goes, I gotta get gas. I was like, oh, how did that suck? I just plug my car in. I'm good.
That's funny. That is actually really good. Do you have a CD player in your car?
CD player. Wow, you are showing your age. No car comes with any car. They haven't put CD players in years.
Hell, they're trying to get rid of the AM portion of the radio.
They are, aren't they? It's crazy. What's Bobby Gunther Walsh going to do?
Retire.
I imagine he probably could.
Yeah, they say they want to get rid of the AM because it messes with because nobody listens is there, and that they're saying that the frequency of a lot of the electronics, not just EVs, but even your regular cars, all the electronics that are in it, that the AM frequency can mess with it.
Really?
Come on. I don't buy any of that.
Is that kind of like that thing, like if you're on your phone when you're flying?
This is the government. This is the government telling you again.
They're just trying to do whatever they want to do.
So, and if the government's telling you,
there was something that went around a funny video somebody made about people asking. The stewardess was saying, "Please turn off all your devices."
Right.
And then somebody asked why. Well, it interferes with and then they're like, okay. And then another guy says, "So you're telling me with this phone I could bring down the plane if I just turn it on?"
Right.
Well, no, that's not. So why do I? And it was a whole big thing. I was like, it doesn't. I don't know.
Exactly. If it did, there'd be a lot of planes falling out of the sky, not just that one that you saw the other day on the news.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even see that one. Yeah, I have to look for the video.
I don't watch news, so I don't. My
wife
don't
either. That's why I missed it. Chipper was telling me.
I don't.
It fell 17,000 feet in 1 minute.
Did it crash or did they recover?
No.
asked that same question.
No, it was flying and it just dropped. Not even a glide. Just.
And it crashed?
Yeah, crashed straight down.
Isn't that crazy?
Because there's been a lot of that lately where the extreme turbulence now.
Yeah, no.
And they're dropping thousands of feet, and then they recover. And then they recover. But yeah,
this one didn't recover.
I asked that same question. I did. I was like, well, did it recover? He's like, no. I was like, ooh, that's not good.
Was that pilot? Do they know if it's pilot error or?
What I heard was they were flying at such a high altitude. What did I say it was Brazil?
Yeah, it said it was South America.
It was somewhere in South America.
Down south is what you said.
They were thinking that possible icing because he was so far.
He was close.
But still, it wouldn't. Most planes wouldn't drop like a brick.
That's right. Yeah,
they have wings. They will glide.
You would think it. That's what I thought. If the only thing I could figure out is
build up a lot of
the
ice.
Elevator, the rudder. I mean, the flaps or whatever weren't.
Or
I don't know.
Down or I don't know.
But I mean, there's a video. You just see it going like this.
Really?
And I mean, not even a nosedive.
I wonder if
you took the plane and just went.
Yes,
mechanical.
I'm checking it out. I'm going
to use. Please stand by.
Yeah, just pay attention to this, folks.
I wonder if this is not to get too
like. What would I look up?
But I wonder if it's diversity, equity, and inclusion kind of thing.
Oh, now you got to go there.
Yeah, because
you're doing all kinds of damage to our show, aren't you? Talking about old people.
YouTube strike. But it's like they're hiring. That's why all these planes that are having issues on the ground and stuff. They're hiring these people that should not be being in charge of maintenance,
or putting them together.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, Boeing. Oh, a door plug. I didn't even know what a door plug was.
It's not a door; it's a plug.
Yeah. Because they have the hole there in case somebody wants to put a door there. You know what? I don't need that. Just make the whole side of the plane solid. Cut the hole later if you want to add a door.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, we forgot some bolts.
Yeah, that's all right. It's crazy.
The airline industry is not something you want to.
Not safety first, apparently.
Yeah. I would not. That's why I don't like to fly. I haven't been on a plane since 2012, and I'm not in any rush to get back on.
I haven't flown. Apparently, these people didn't either. I'll let you. You can. I turned the volume all the way down, but you can take a look at it.
Oh, you see it?
Yeah. You see the plane just come like it kind of spiral. Oh, I should have done that. Turned it sideways. Could have gotten a better view. But I haven't flown since high school.
Oh wow!
I was dating a girl in North Carolina, and I went down, flew down to. This was the last time I flew. Yeah, like senior year or something like that.
They're just showing like the aftermath. I didn't see it like come down.
Just keep watching. You see it. It just like flutters down like a piece of paper coming out of the sky. You see it?
No, not yet. They're just showing, but it's like there ain't much left of that plane. That was pretty.
You can restart the whole video.
Yeah, that's what I did. I thought maybe. Oh, there.
Yeah.
Like it flutters down. Like it's weird. Yeah, it literally flutters down like a piece of paper coming out of the sky.
It looks like one of those foam gliders you used to have when you were a kid.
It just kind of.
Holy crap! Yeah,
that's crazy.
I don't know how the hell. I don't even know if they could do that if they wanted to.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
You figure
you're gonna glide at least a little bit. I mean,
it's really crazy. I mean, that's. And I don't know how to show the people because, I'd have to.
Tell them
to add it to the video.
Pull it up to the camera. Put the camera in the camera.
Just look at Google your news. Plus, it's going to be 4 weeks later.
Just
link will be in the show notes.
YouTube plane with dozens of passenger spirals and crashes in Brazil.
That's it.
That's the name of the video on YouTube.
That's it.
And,
all you need to know.
Look it up and you'll find it.
Yeah, that's
because I did.
That's scary. Yeah.
That is really scary.
And if he can find it, anybody can.
Anybody can find it. Trust me. If I can be that technically savvy, you can too. Because we should probably Hey, time to. Well, this has been a fun show to do. I actually really enjoyed having you in studio. It was really great,
Mike.
Fun. Thanks for coming in,
yeah,
and
no
I look forward to more times having you in and just kind of.
We didn't even do the intro, did we?
Well, we did. I just said, welcome to Hammerlane Legends after we were like talking for about 5 or 10 minutes. So.
But they have to know how to keep you guys fueled and everything.
Oh, here. Here's the paper. You can read it all. Go right ahead.
It's a break room show. Where just, people know where to. It's the same thing every week.
Just insert from one of the other shows.
There you go. Right. See, this was I had a blast. I hope
now he's streamlining it
because I enjoyed the show, and if we enjoyed the show, I hope everybody else enjoyed the show. And if they enjoyed the show, what can they do? Anybody?
Share the show.
Share the show. Nicely played, Mike. He's going to be a regular.
I'm out.
Can you make it? Share the show.
Nope.
Apparently not. His eyesight's not that good yet.
Garbage cans.
It's getting that dim thing again.
It's getting dim in here.
Share the show. Like Mike said, share the show. And we appreciate it. We appreciate everybody listening. What a blast. I had a great time.
Yeah,
we really kind of went all over the place with this one.
It wasn't too much about trucking. It was just kind of about everything else.
Yeah, we're, surgeries and babies and all of that. So keep the hammer down.
In the hammer lane. Good night.
Good night.